Welcome, everybody, to the Raad Life, the only talk radio show that takes you along with host and age explorer Rod Gantos on his continuing journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older. The Raad Life is brought to you this week by Your Home for a Lifetime, a company dedicated to empowering you to stay safely, independently, and comfortably in your own home. And now here is your host, Rod Gantos.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was struck by this binder that I have in front of me. For anybody who's not watching, it's a binder.
It's a big binder.
We have binders today, and I'm going to avoid any jokes about binders for anybody who's old enough to remember what happened in an election.
All I want to know is, are you back again? You were here earlier today for your new show.
This is my third radio show of the day.
Oh, man.
2 where I am hosting and 1 where I was a guest. And I do want to give a shout out to Golden State Media Group, which is a media group we formed that is producing these shows, the Raad Life, the Check Out California show, and the one that launched today called Selling the Lux Life. And
what a guest you had.
Shaheen Sadeghi, the president and CEO of the lab and the camp.
I didn't know he'd been president of Quicksilver and all these other big brands.
But you know what? I'm not giving it away. People can watch or listen. You can go to YouTube, look for channels.
Well, you were on fire this morning when you had to kick that show off. We'll see if you can keep that passion up on today's guest.
I don't know. I might have to just reschedule the show because I have some reading material here. I think this is a first in 3 years of being on the air. This is the first
time. She
brought
brought you lots to talk about.
My guest actually brought her material with her, like, hey, so tell me about yourself. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let you tell about yourself. I'm just going to sit here and read your binder.
Yeah.
Right? And if the binder wasn't enough, we have these
trophies,
Oscar-like statuettes here. And we were joking about the fact that, this is Greg Louganis when he ages. This is what he looks like.
Is that what it is?
Because they're actually Senior Serve Hero Awards. This is a 2018, which happened last Saturday.
Yes.
Di Patterson is my guest, and she was awarded this here, Senior Serve Hero. And then this is, if that wasn't enough, she had to brag and bring in her 2012 Outstanding Advocate, Gerontologist, Educator. I think they need a bigger band for the third one. Is there a third one in your future? I have a feeling there's a third one in the future.
I cannot say, but I will say they have changed the name of the Advocate, Gerontologist, and Educator of the Year to Professional of the Year.
I don't think that's fair, though. I think that's just taking away from that, right? Oh, you fought it?
I put in my little 2 cents.
Why am I not surprised?
But it comes down to this. There are just not enough people graduating with gerontology, Master of Gerontology degrees, but there are a ton of awesome aging marketplace professionals here in Orange County, and that's where these wonderful awards.
So before we start,
but hold on, before I step away from the awards, though. Okay, this is a message for Susan Piperi at Senior Serve. I think I maybe it's the designer in me, but things are better in threes. So I think we need to schedule Di for a third one of these, Susan, please, because it's just
good, better, best.
It's just there needs to be one here while I hold these 2 up here, and we'll have her on the show again. We can show off your 3rd award.
Oh, my goodness.
And Susan, that you're supposed to be on this show in November, so you and guys from Senior Serve put on an amazing event.
Amazing event.
Di was involved with this as well, and we'll get into that. But Senior Serve is a major provider of Meals on Wheels.
Yes.
90,000 meals, I think, is what Holly told me.
Well, it's almost 1 million a year.
1 million meals a year.
Right, and that is for the largest part of Orange County on delivery, but also all the congregate meals and the senior centers in 3/4 of Orange County. Yeah. They're fixing meals every day for.
And how do you know these things, Di?
I know these things because for the last 6 months, I have been gala chair.
Yeah, she's been gala chair.
Yes, and they call it auction chair, but this is this is such a surprise for me. They give one for the person who is the leader.
And just to give people an idea, this is an event that Senior Serve has been putting on for 8 years. This year was the 8th year that they've been putting it on. It basically recognizes and acknowledges efforts by a lot of people that go unsung throughout the year that serve the senior industry. Professionals, doctors. Oh, she's got more material.
More material.
She's got more material.
Oh, it's a deep briefcase today.
And so this thing right here sold out a week, I think, or 2 weeks in advance of the event?
More than a month.
More than a month.
Before the finalists were even announced, there are 8 categories of voting categories. Plus, we had the Innovator of the Year.
Right.
And we had, the Humanitarian of the Year, and that was Mayor.
We're not giving it away
okay,
just yet.
We're not giving it away.
Okay, so I think it didn't start off there, but for the number of years that I've been involved in it, and we've been privileged to be asked to do red carpet interviews.
Yes.
So again, Senior Serve, Susan, thank you very much. It was
Thank you,
a lot
Susan.
of fun this year.
She's the true leader.
She is a true leader. And she sings and dances too. So there's
yes.
But I'm not going to tell you what that's all about until you go buy your own ticket for next year, and then you can watch it in person. But the categories that Di was talking about is Outstanding Executive Director, Outstanding Senior Care Professional. We have a ton of what else do we have here, Di?
Go forward.
We have more.
Go forward, Wendy. Yep.
Outstanding Nurse, Outstanding Physician. Shout out to Dr. Rajaram from Vitas for winning that one.
Yes, Dr. Raj.
Yeah, Dr. Raj. Outstanding Caregiver, Outstanding Social Worker, and we had, like Di was saying, there was a Humanitarian and a Lifetime Achievement as well.
You know what was missing, though? There isn't a Radio Show of the Year. Come on, we got to get a Radio Show of the Year in there so we can win.
Shucks, Paul.
Let's just make some noise about that, okay, Rod?
Yeah, let's add a category.
Well, I want to touch about that in a minute because we're joking about it, but there is an interesting thing about this, right? Yeah, there's the People's Choice recipients as well. So not only were those categories that were basically voted on somewhat maybe more in a structured manner, but there was also the People's Choice recipients where people voted actually for who would receive it.
Yes.
And
this is all within the senior industry,
and,
right?
Those, in those categories, there was a family member hero, a veteran hero, and a volunteer hero. So not only is it people that are practitioners or professionals in the industry, but it's also people that give of themselves within their family or their community, neighborhood, etc. They're recognized because I don't know if people know, we've mentioned on this show before, but it's one of the largest concentration of seniors in the country.
Yes.
Is Orange County.
Yes.
Yeah, not Florida, Orange County.
If you'd like some statistics, I have them.
Please, are they in here?
Nope.
Okay.
They're right in here.
All right, so give us some statistics, Di.
Okay. Everyone, Orange County is one of 57 counties in California. Orange County alone, in our square footage, has a full 1/10 of every Medicare recipient in the state of California. That's why there are no blue handicap spaces at Costco.
Right, exactly.
Literally, there's 4 million Medicare recipients in California. We have 400,000 of them here, just in Orange County alone. Another amazing fact about Orange County is we are well known on the Beltway. And if you've been watching PBS News the last week, Orange County has made at least once a week for the last 2 or 3 weeks, all sorts of things. But we are known for our the aging nonprofits and the agencies here. They're known for our cooperation, our camaraderie. We rarely have double dipping going on. So if one agency is asking for federal funds on one thing, then other agencies don't go into that space.
Right. So
it makes it very, very good for our agencies to stay afloat.
Right. And you know what else we're known for back there in Washington?
Tell us, Paul.
The Rad Life.
Of course you're
Everybody
known at
tunes
the Rad
into
Life.
Rad Life. They want to find out what's happening.
The Rad Life has been quoted by both sides of the aisle trying to make a case for or against candidates. Let me tell you that, right?
I'll bet.
So when I found out that we had actually been used on somebody's hit piece against somebody who was a guest on the show and what they said on the show, and I'm like, hey. When I heard from the gentleman who was on the show and he told me that, I said, "Hey, I guess we both arrived." It's like we are now notorious, not just
you're being used.
Now we're being used.
You're being used.
But to kind of piggyback on yours, yes, there's a lot of agencies in Orange County, and there's a lot of camaraderie, and it's been really wonderful to be involved. You got Alzheimer's. We've had people on this show. You got people that are supportive in terms, we've had Jerry Rosen with Working Wardrobes. There's a lot of circles that intertwine and support each other. That being said, I really think that as much as I'm encouraged every year by what I see at the Senior Heroes Award, right, that there is a dire need There's a
is.
huge need.
Yes.
And there's a large
There is.
population that is at risk of being underserved.
Yes.
Regardless whether you would say that they are like my parents' generation or maybe even slightly older, or maybe people that are closer to my age, because I think one of the things I picked up from the Senior Heroes Awards was that we've been talking about how people live longer and they are around for longer and all this stuff, but they're also not necessarily healthier. And so there's a lot of needs that I think we really need to kind of get our act together. And one of the things we were talking about when I was thinking when Paul was like, well, we needed something about radio or media, is because the other thing that I hear year in and year out is as much as we are making a dent into it, it's still really hard to get that information out to the people who need it and have them find it. And so as much as there's a need, there's also still confusion on where people get services, where do people get the benefits, how do they navigate those waters, how do they prepare themselves better, right? I mean, they're staying alive longer, but that doesn't mean that they have enough funding or financing to basically sustain themselves with any kind of quality of life, right? And I know this is going beyond, you know, the sort of the conversation of the awards and Senior Serve, but I think it's genuinely real for a lot of people. I mean, when we deliver those meals at Senior Serve, it's not just the meal.
Yes.
It's more, and I think it was mentioned by, you know, maybe we'll bring it up in a conversation now, but, you know, by the Humanitarian of the Year, Mayor Tom Tate from Anaheim.
Yes.
One of the things that struck me, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting. When I interviewed him on the red carpet, but then also when he actually received his award, he brought up the conversation about the camaraderie, the connection, that this person who's basically shut in, that's receiving the meals, it's not just about the nutrition.
No.
But it's also about...
It is about fighting isolation.
Yeah.
It's about the congeniality.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of things to talk about, but let me start with this.
Well, I want to find out about you because because you know there's a lot of information here, but nobody reads anymore. Who reads anymore? Right?
We'll put it on the website. You can read it all.
Who reads? Okay.
Let's go to the lighter side. Okay.
So give us a let's see.
Because
take as much time as you want, but give us a little background.
Okay, so a little background. Well, I decided to come into this amazing field of aging because I had 4 of the most rockin' grandparents who ever lived, and 3 of them
Why am I not surprised?
lived to 95 or
Wow.
older.
Wow.
Okay, and they lived well because of their core values, and kept cheered up because they had strong social connections. And not only that, but their families.
Critical. Yeah.
It's critical. And I actually have written a whole article and spoken on isolation and its chilling effects.
It's in here.
You bet it is. Okay. And its chilling effects on society. Because to make a long story short, UCLA, Brigham Young, and University of Ohio at Miami, a big gerontology school, literally, they've done studies that show that every adult, and I'm talking age 18, above age 18, until you get to the last day of your 64th year, if you isolate, and I don't mean, where's your cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not,
I don't mean on
not,
cell phones
not that kind
or
of
computers,
connection, right?
but I mean face-to-face, hello,
Touch.
how are you doing,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If they isolate, it is a 26% hike in their mortality rate. But over the age of 65, it goes to 46%, which is almost, I mean, how can you fight that?
Yeah,
it doubles.
It doubles.
And when we are aware, and you know, what you're doing here is you're providing information to come out, because that's what I do best.
What we
I
try to do,
love to give good information. Right.
Can I give you one anecdotal thing? We've talked many times before about my aunt who did finally pass away a couple months ago at 94.
So
she was alone all the years because she never got married, never had any kids, and I was her sole caregiver. When I finally was forced to put her into an assisted living facility, not an assisted, a nursing home, basically.
Okay.
It was a board and care, so it was a house with 3 or 4 people in it.
Our CFE.
Okay.
Right.
I was shocked as I would go out, though, those last few months, and they would say, "Why are you here?" And I'd say, "What do you mean, why am I
Like
here?"
his behavior is out of the norm.
They say, "Are you her son?" "No, I'm her nephew. I'm her only living relative." Even stranger. And I'd watch. Nobody came to visit any of these people, ever. We put them somewhere to keep them safe, to protect them, and to get them out of our mind. I don't have to worry about Aunt so-and-so anymore. She's taken care of. That doesn't mean you don't. And many of these people would sit there all day long and either stare at television or stare at the wall.
Paul, this is the favorite human emotion is denial.
Yes.
And this is
Right.
the state of denial
Right.
about our own families, about our society.
If you're fortunate enough to even still have connections with family or family alive around.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
right.
right. And that is why it's so important for our generation. And Paul and I were talking about this before the
At
break.
length, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. The boomer generation, who is aging now, and by the way, everybody, we're in year 6 of a 55-year age wave.
Wow.
That
It's going to happen for
That's why we
55
say
yeah.
We have
we're not ready. I mean,
right.
we're not ready.
As
we
a
have more-
society, as an individual, as
Exactly.
a family. Yeah, right.
So when you're looking at
Yep.
just a few years left and 50 more years of seeing many, many, many older Americans, older adults, and much older adults.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're
Yeah, because
looking...
they're
90s,
staying
100s,
around,
yeah, right.
Okay, so the thing is this. If boomers are really wise, and boomers listen to me because this is truth in your face. If you do a good job in taking care of the elders in your life, and whether they are relatives, friends, parents, aunt, like Paul,
Neighbors, right.
brother, sister, there are so many different circumstances that come up in life. But if you do a good job with them and you help them finish strong, you are teaching your children how to help you finish strong
Yeah.
and teach themselves how to finish strong.
Perfect example, Di. I mean, I am 53. When I basically got an opportunity to do this show 3 years ago, Paul's like, well, we've been toying with the idea of doing a baby boomer show. And I'm like, slight problem. I'm not a baby boomer. And she goes, well, that's fine. You're a baby boomer wannabe. I think he just wanted to sell a show. But be that as it may, no, it's true. Because we are, quote unquote, a bridge generation. You got a
Yes.
millennial generation that is as big as a baby boomer generation. And Gen Z is even
No,
big.
no. Millennials, there are half. Boomers had, where our parents had 6 kids, boomers had 3 kids.
Right.
They are not as big.
72 million and 74 million. And Gen Zs are bigger than anybody knows. And it's crazy because that was like a shocker to me. And the personality traits are amazing when you start comparing personality traits between one generation and another. But the point is, it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. The fact that something is going to be dealt with by every one of those generations, which is getting older, being around longer, having the need for certain support services and certain wherewithals about how to maintain a quality of life.
Yes.
That the way that society is set up, we are only starting to address that situation.
Let me give you one other example.
Because you weren't supposed to be around that long. You were I mean, when somebody told you, oh, your grandparents were 90, you're like, oh my God, that was like amazing, right? Now, when you say somebody is still 90, and they go, oh, that's cool. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
Let me
it's
give you another
no
sad
longer an unusual situation for somebody to hit 90 and beyond. 98,
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I totally get that.
My parents bought a home in Sun City, and their final years came out to be closer to me. And through that, I got to meet lots of other seniors who lived in that area.
Yes.
And their next-door neighbor was a case in point. They had one son, like my parents had one son, one child.
Yes.
And he spent 15 years. His father had a stroke.
Oh,
and they had to
yes.
put him in a home
Yes.
for not for 5 months, for 15 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, what does mom do? She starts dating other men because she didn't live for 15 years alone without this. And that causes some stress and strain. And finally, Dad dies, and at a cost of like $10,000 a month because nobody's paying for this. And that went through a lot of the family fortune.
Yes.
So they sold the house, and Mom gets dementia. And at $11,000 a month, he had her in a home for almost 5 years. So for 20 years, this guy's life was on hold. He didn't get married. He didn't have kids himself because he's taking care of Dad and then Mom back to back.
Right.
You talk about a
right.
group
the,
of...
the impact and that person who's taking care of mom and dad not being prepared
Right.
Not maybe by happenstance finding out where resources are, or out of frustration and desperation finding out where resources
And
are.
feeling the
And this
need. I
is
can't.
why-
I can't push this off. This is my duty. I've got to do it, et cetera, et cetera.
And this is why Golden Girls homes are going to be opening up in America a lot. They're going strong in France, but this
What are
whole
those?
idea.
Shared accommodation. Yeah.
Yes. So Golden Girls, the TV show
Yeah.
where there were 5 amazing women
Yeah,
doing
right.
funny things on
Yeah,
TV,
sure,
and we
sure.
watched, and lots of commercials made money. All right. Well, that's going to happen in real life. So a 5-bedroom home. Every woman gets her own bedroom.
Yeah.
Everyone puts into the pot. There's a shared living room, a shared kitchen, shared spaces. It fights isolation. It keeps the costs down, because if you can still be doing,
Right.
a lot of boomers, we're used to going to Costco
Yeah.
and buying for all these kids and family
Yeah.
members. And then all of a sudden we're 2 or 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going to Costco isn't as much fun because you've got, things for 6 months.
Right.
But in these type of congregate
It's
living,
shared, yeah.
yes, and it's by choice, and hopefully people get along together. But this will be one problem solving for families. And we have to get honest about our family units. And this is another reason why our relationships are really important. Because
And maintaining them and keeping in mind that those are not just niceties, they're actually necessities.
they are
Yeah.
very well put. They are
And
necessities.
before you do it, I'll give you another story. So my aunt, I moved her into board and care. There's 3 or 4 people there.
He's just.
I got lots of stories.
You
So one of the
started him. I told you, don't look over there.
there was a husband and wife that moved into one of the rooms. A board and
Okay.
care is another new option where somebody buys a house and puts a nurse in it 24/7, and it's cheaper than a nursing home with 100 beds and all the costs associated
And there
with that.
are a lot of different technical names for these places.
Right.
Okay.
But
So
what I think both of you are saying, though, that I think is the crux of this, is that there is no one size fits all.
Well-
There's actually a lot of different options, including ones that are more neighborhood driven.
Yes.
There's more
Yes.
cul-de-sac kind of configurations.
But
Some
let
of
me
the
just
stuff is
give you an
more
example.
popular
You're
in
talking
the
about family relations.
Midwest and East Coast.
So this husband and wife moves in. Now, this is a second marriage for him.
Yes.
For 20 years, the second marriage, but he got
Yes.
divorced early on. His kids from his first marriage never accepted his second wife.
There you go.
So they both are in their 90s. They get moved into this facility, and nobody comes to see them because his kids can't stand her. And they didn't have kids together.
Forgiveness.
So
love.
yes.
Hope.
So
joy.
he's estranged from his family because he'd made a choice early on to get divorced and marry this other woman. Never heals for 20 years, and the only person that came to see them was their neighbor, who herself was taking care of her 2 parents who had Alzheimer's at home. So she would leave them with another family member and come over and visit her neighbors.
So
I
let's,
have wild stories.
Yeah, these are wild
stories because my darling husband in heaven, Paul Patterson, was a probate, trust, and conservatorship attorney, and I ran
You
the
saw all this,
office,
yeah.
and I was And long story short, it's frightening. The stories that can come out, and we need to fight that.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that the number 1 disease on the face of this earth is hopelessness.
Yes.
And
Oh,
we
wow.
have got to fight hopelessness. So these stories don't become
The norm,
normal.
right.
but you know what? Let's be factual.
Sure.
Let's be reality based too, right? I mean, it's all rosy and everything, and everybody has good relationships and so forth. The other aspect to it is this: it doesn't have to be blood relationships.
No.
Yeah, like cultivate relationships and connect with people.
That's
because,
right.
Because again, to your point, when you said that it's not the internet, okay, it's not 5,000 people on Facebook. That is connection, but it's not depth of connection, and that's what we're talking about. I think is the depth of connection.
Yes.
The actual not just being in contact with one another, but being connected to one another.
Yes.
And so if it's not blood, if it's not family, if by virtue of you're an orphan, by virtue of you don't have an extended family, by virtue that you've outlived everybody around you. The point is that the importance of relationships in your lives for everything from non-isolation,
Right.
from continuing to be active, to be engaged mentally so that you're not basically, just going from being very involved and active in 9-to-5 job that's engaging you mentally, physically, all this stuff, to basically sedentary existence that is now you're just sitting there decaying, basically.
Yes.
Right? I mean, let's call it what it is. I think the important point here is do not shy away from developing and establishing and maintaining
And yet
relationships.
we had an
whether
earlier
it's blood, family, or not.
we had a show last week that talked about this in a different way, and they were talking about next chapters in life.
Yes.
And one of the things that they noted is as you get older, unless you work hard at it, your social network shrinks.
Mm-hmm.
It
That's
shrinks
right.
because
The
they
natural-
die.
natural
It
na-
shrinks
natural
because
order of
you
it,
get
yeah.
divorced. It shrinks because you have fights and whatever. And it shrinks because the things that brought you friends, you were connected with the kids and your kids' friends.
Yes.
You're connected with your community because you had a job.
Yes.
When you take away all those things, what do you have to connect
So
you with?
unless you do that, then you do like what Paul does, which is basically put some money down, set up a radio station, and have people walk in the
That's
door
right.
and connect
Come
with
to
them.
me.
You know,
I'm lonely.
This is why more and more you'll see Girls' Night Out, and they are organized in a way
Yeah.
where they get a speaker and they have that, you know, tea parties. Invite
And women
someone
are better
for tea.
women
Yes.
are better than this than men.
Yes,
Yes, I
we
think
usually
so.
are.
You guys are,
Except,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I have seen over the years some amazing men get-togethers at Winchell Donut Houses.
Right, but it's not what I'm saying is I
Right.
guess DNA wise women are a little bit better at maintaining relationships throughout the course of their lives
Yes, it's actually a hormonal thing.
than men.
yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
part of it is you uproot and you move, you go to college one place maybe, or you grow up in one town and that's not where you end up. And so these relationships, kind of following up with what Paul said, you either lose them along the way or they fray along the way or whatever, or they pass away along the way.
Many of us have too tight of a grip on things in life.
Yeah.
Because until you let go of something here,
Yeah.
nothing else can come and fill it.
Right.
And so I think even in our TV shows, we've been encouraged over the last 20 years, stop thinking inside the box that you grew up in and keep those good things.
Well, it's fear,
but
right?
to also look out for others. And
And talk about that, because Rod always talks about how in communities, he lives in San Clemente, and San Clemente, like many communities, fights these aging in these homes for aging, these
Well,
board and cares or whatever.
What you're talking about, Paul, is a very interesting situation because we had, and this is not unique to San Clemente. I think it's pretty much in a lot of affluent communities. It's definitely all over Orange County. But there's this thing where a few years ago, due to the economic conditions, people would come in and rent homes and put in sober homes.
right.
Right.
For
They're doing the same
for-
thing
for
with
recover-
seniors.
There's
for
one in
recovery.
my
Right.
neighborhood.
Right. So let's not bring the seniors conversation just yet, but sober homes.
Right.
Okay.
Now, in principle, sober homes are no different in terms of category and classification than board and care.
An RCFE, residential care facility
Exactly.
for the elderly.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly the same formula.
Yes.
And you have the communities going up in arms about this group home. And
That's
the
right.
group home became the name on the title. And I kept telling people, careful. I understand what you're saying relevant to recovery, and it's not enforced correctly, and it's not regulated correctly, and all this stuff. But in the course of trying to make it illegal to have group homes, you are also potentially in danger of impacting negatively unintentional consequences. Group homes for seniors.
Right.
Great story. Ready?
Yeah.
So, Anaheim, and shout out to Tom Tate, our mayor, who's called Anaheim the city of kindness. That's why. Awesome.
Very well deserved to receive the humanitarian award. I was so happy to be there to
Yes.
see Tom get that.
And all of this to say, in the last few years, the residents of Anaheim, there was something written, an ordinance written, and many of us felt that it wasn't tight enough. And Airbnbs moved in. Well, so not regulated enough. So they
The
were
other
like,
boogeyman, yeah.
mini hotels, unregulated hotels in neighborhoods where they can stay up till 2 and we've got to work in the morning. But the big takeaway from that is we were having, monthly meetings with the city council meetings. And the last meeting where all of us got 90 seconds to say something, I stood up and said, because we outlawed them, but gave them 18 months to stay, to pull out. I said, owners, think about, I said, you'll make just as much money or maybe more if you turn your Airbnbs into residential care facilities for the elderly. And instead of people walking around the house with pickets or putting up signs, people will bake cookies and bring them over to your clients because they love the idea that grandma, grandpa, mom, dad are being taken care of somewhere. You see, this goes back to, the state of denial. We just believe as we are living our very full lives and we're grabbing our cups of coffee and trying to eat something and get out to our job. We're just believing that someone is there doing the same for the older people we love. And we just take this big leap of faith.
Yeah, it's handled.
It's supposed to be
handled.
good.
It's handled. Somebody's taking care of that. I
That's right.
don't have to feel guilty about the fact that this very
That's right.
At risk part of our population, that grandpa, the grandma, the older members of our society, our neighborhood neighbors, that those are taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, and so somebody must be taking care of them.
That's right.
You can't. You got to be
and can I
engaged
give you
in that solution.
One negative, grumpy old guy comment
assumption
on what you're
Oh,
saying.
you're talking about yourself
Okay,
again?
Paul.
Okay. What grumpy old man? Go ahead. Tell me.
Yes, put them in a neighborhood, but don't ignore them. I'm telling you
Yes.
that even though they're in your neighborhood, the kids don't come over. Nobody does bake cookies and bring them over.
But
they stay away from them for fear of dealing with these old, demented people.
Okay.
We're glad somebody took care of them, but I don't want to see them.
So
You
what?
know-
So hold on a second. Okay, all right. No, because he puts himself, he opens himself up. Okay,
Oh,
he knows
yes.
exactly where I'm going with
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
You know exactly where I'm going with this. Okay, I've been doing this show for 3 years.
Okay.
We have had all kinds of amazing nuggets, and people sit across the way from me and share this stuff within an ear's drop of
Paul.
Yes.
Okay, ask him how much of what he has picked up on here has he actually put into
I think
practice.
it's time for commercial.
Paul.
I haven't changed one little bit.
In 3 years, he
Okay,
has
guys.
been in denial.
Okay, guys.
Because it's not going to happen to me. I'm just saying I went through it with them, but it's not going to happen to me. I'm a Peter Pan generation. We're never going to get old. I'm never going to get sick.
Have you looked in the
I'm
mirror
never going to
today?
be isolated.
Okay, and just as a surprise, and I have not showed this yet.
Okay.
But as a surprise,
Another
what-
folder.
You need to ask me what I do because I am a
What-
family aging consultant
Yep.
and a business
Yep.
aging marketplace
Yeah.
consultant
For
families whose mom has fallen and she can't get up, whose dad is forgetting more and more. You're freaking out because mom fell in the shower and you don't know what to do.
Right.
You call me. I am a consulting gerontologist,
Right.
and I can talk to you over the phone to calm the fears, and then have a interview, even a Skype or
And create
FaceTime.
a plan. Create a plan.
I absolutely create an action plan for families, and I also help. I have some great stories. I brought stories of just 4 of my clients.
Give us a story.
let me
Give us-
just
Okay.
say one thing before you
Yes.
tell the stories, because what you're touching on is this. Nobody can handle this on their own.
That's the truth. And
the
we all
best
try.
sentence.
And it's okay.
That is the best
It's okay
sentence.
to accept the fact. This is not about a reflection about you as a son, a daughter.
Correct.
You know, it's not a reflection about your inability to be there, to provide, to give back when your parent has
Correct.
been there for you all this time. This is a very and we're joking and we're laughing about this. I've been doing this thing for 3 years. I've been talking about this for 3 years, and even with doing this for 3 years and sitting here every week in and week out, when I'm facing it with my parents, it is
Ain't
a
easy.
totally different situation.
Yeah,
and I
ain't
will
easy.
tell
Totally different.
Yeah. So cut yourself some slack. Give yourself a break. It is okay not to navigate these waters on your own. In fact, if you are smart and you want to be there for your family member or your family, be it the person that you're caring for
Yes.
or the others that are
Yes.
also associated with you as a family dynamic, and
Yes.
seek that help, because it is a very stressful.
That's right.
It takes its toll in different ways that you
That's
don't
right.
imagine. And if you're driven by guilt and feeling inept or incompetent and not being able to deal with it, that's going to psychologically affect you. You're going to
So
become
much.
less effective.
Oh, yes. Your immunities will go
Yeah.
down. You'll catch
physically, mentally, emotionally.
illnesses faster. Oh, yes. It goes to your.
It's tough stuff.
It's tough stuff.
Been there, been through all that. And I'll tell you the other
Okay.
thing is the guilt that happens because you find yourself saying, I can't handle it this weekend. I'm not going to call her this weekend. I'm not going to talk to her
That's
this
right.
weekend. She's
Now you're,
crabby.
We
now you're
bury
feeling
ourselves.
Really, you bury yourself.
Bury ourselves in denial.
So don't. Reach out to people that can help you.
Right. And so here are 4 stories of clients very recently who have come to me. And together we put resources in place. Together we got the answers. And there is so much hope and happiness in these families now. So my first client I'm going to tell you about, one of my favorites, is Jack.
Okay.
So I've actually known Jack for many years. His mother and my mother were roomies in college
Wow.
back in the late 40s when not many women went to college.
No. Yeah.
Okay? So these women, I just love his mother so much. So one day he called me and said, Di, I'm really worried about my mom. All of a sudden, she seems more confused. She's having a really hard time walking, and I don't get it. And so I went through my intake sheet, and I said, okay, Jack, let's answer me some of these questions. So I filled in a lot of her immediate health issues right now. I filled in the things going on at home. Her husband's still alive, but is also kind of physically having a tough time right now. They're both in their early 90s. They are rocking and have done rocking things in life. So, and near the end of 45 minutes, Jack says to me, you know, Mom had a urinary tract infection 3 weeks ago.
Very common.
I said, okay, stop everything now. I said, UTIs mask as two things, either sudden onset dementia or a stroke.
Right.
And that is exactly why she had fallen. She couldn't walk very well. And they were attacking it from separate symptoms. And I said, was she taken to the doctor? Yes. Was she given antibiotics? Yes, but only for a few days. I said, Jack, drive to your mom's, put her in your car, or call 911 and get her to a hospital now. I said, UTIs deplete people's inner liquids so quickly that she will die. You have got to take her immediately.
Yep.
Long story short, she does get to the hospital. She does get IV treatment. She, of course, is put in convalescent for a few weeks to get walking again. She starts to remember people's names again. She starts to remember her life. And so I stayed with this family. I went out and we had a family group consultation and with Dad, who I just love. And so basically we did, and I brought a product showcase, which I brought some for you today to show you, just very, very small, but things she could use in her home, products, services, and companies that aging people and their boomer kids would want to know about. So that's one of the things I do.
And can I tell you in a blunt fashion why I
Tell me.
discussed my aunt was getting UTIs constantly, and she would get dementia. It would create dementia and all those things you talked about.
And it's because...
And it would make her weak. Because she doesn't go to the bathroom very often, so she was in a Depends all day, and it was easier just to sit in it than to change it. And so you're sitting in your own urine, basically, wondering why you're getting infections all day long.
The bigger thing, Paul, is hydration.
That too. Yes, yeah.
And, quite frankly,
she wouldn't drink much
hygiene.
Yeah, exactly.
Older people don't want to drink a lot because they have to struggle to the bathroom.
When they go, they don't wipe very well, and then they sit in the
No, that isn't even it. It's against you because it's biology.
Right.
Just think of it. Our cells are getting smaller and smaller, and what happens? The front of us and the back of us move closer together, and that's when all those little fecal bits of matter get up in the urethra.
Right?
Yeah, get up in the urethra and causes a UTI.
So, like I said, it's not easy stuff.
No, the number one reason.
Nobody wants to hear
And
this.
not only nobody wants to hear this, you don't really want to think about the fact that you are going to be in a position where you are the person that has to handle mom or dad in that situation.
If you have the information.
But if you're empowered by the information and you have prepared yourself, and this is the thing, it proactive versus reactive.
So I got to tell you, you made this
you have to
a
do
little
both
funny
in
story
your
here.
Yeah. But
go, Paul, go.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, my aunt was getting urinary tract infections every other month. And then she'd start to get dementia, she'd get weak, she'd start to fall and stuff, and we'd take her to the emergency, find out she had a UTI, they'd give her antibiotics, and right back. So I finally get to one of the doctors and I said, what is going on? He explains everything you say. As you get old, for all the reasons, she's sitting in her Depends, the shrinking space, it's easier to get infected.
Yes.
She's doesn't have the same sanitary habits as she once did because it's hard and it's difficult, and the hell with it. All of these things, and she's not drinking any water anymore because it's hard to get up and get the water and all this, and she's not used to drinking water. All of these things contribute. So I said, well, we got to have a talk with her about this because this is just a never-ending pattern. And it was a female doctor, and she says, well, I'll try and have this conversation with her. And she said, let's go back in. Now, my aunt is a very proper 90-some-year-old lady, old school. You don't talk about any of this kind of stuff with her. And very independent, very strong. When I brought this conversation up, I said, we got to talk about this, and we start doing it. She looked at me with a look like, I am not just embarrassment, anger.
Oh,
pissed
very
off.
angry.
You're going to talk to me about my
this
bathroom
is,
habits
this is,
here.
right.
This is why
fear
we,
always
Oh,
sits
my
on top
God.
of pain, and anger sits on top of fear.
She didn't want to have that conversation for 2 seconds.
Oh,
Right,
no.
right,
It's
but-
like talking about sex,
Yes.
which you don't do
Not
with
with-
that age group.
No.
No.
But you have no choice.
Yeah. We kept
And this is
hammering it.
this is why we do this show. It's not that we're not trying to force anything. You have no choice. You really don't have a choice. If you really were cleanly thinking about this, if you were clear in what your role is, you have no choice. The only thing you have the ability to do is empower yourself with knowledge,
Right.
empower yourself with knowing where the resources are, doing it without the pressure of having to react in a very quick turnaround.
Crisis.
Like you
Right.
got 10 days and I got to fit out something. Know where these resources are, because if you actually know where these resources are, if you proactively engage with this
Yes.
conversation, as tough as it may be,
Yes.
okay, you will actually be in a better place not only to achieve more likable results to you, but also plan for it. Because the non-planning for it is an extremely difficult, strenuous, emotionally draining, financially draining
Yes.
proposition.
The biggest, I mean,
It's all coming out of savings.
she had
It's all
cancer.
falling on family.
Oh, I'm
She had cancer.
sorry.
She had a blood cancer that made her very weak. Anyway, but I'm telling you, this simple urinary tract thing haunted her for years.
Okay, the number one
dementia,
reason.
falling, and we, as much as I tried to force the issue, she didn't want to think about it, talk about it, face it, and it haunted her until the day she died.
Go ahead,
And-
Jay.
The number one reason that fire departments are called 911 to the homes of elderly is UTIs.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden a person falls or they start talking gibberish.
Right.
Because UTIs mask as either sudden onset dementia, like I
Right.
said
Or
earlier,
stroke.
or a stroke.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen it in front of my eyes,
Over
a
and over
person
again, I
go
saw it.
down. And long story short, I am actually wanting to start a national organization that says socks before briefs. Urologists have said to me, don't people put their socks on before their underwear? Think of what's on their floor or the fungus that's on their feet.
Yeah.
Why would they want that in the crotch of their panties or their boxer shorts? And it's the truth. We have to put on socks before our briefs.
I never even thought of that one.
Oh, listen, this is huge. Just, Costco,
Yeah.
$10 and you get a pack of 8 sockettes.
Yeah.
And do not put your underwear on every day until you have a socket on.
You didn't have any clue that you were going to listen to the Rad Life
Oh,
today
no.
and,
my
and
goodness.
find out
Oh,
that you
my
UTIs,
goodness.
test
That's
today's topic.
it.
Yeah.
But I want to tell
Socks
you.
before briefs, people. Socks before briefs.
Okay, socks before briefs. I actually have them, but didn't bring them to show. You have to have me back.
There's no demonstration
Rad,
for
you
socks
have
before
to-
briefs.
No, no,
Will you show us
I
how
do.
that does that?
I mean, that's really taking this show to the next level.
That's right. And two
Took
other
us
things.
3 years to get to socks before briefs. People.
Hydrate and hygiene.
Constantly.
Hydrate and
Yeah,
hygiene.
hydration is really, really important. Really important. And these are some of these habits that.
That's right.
That's really interesting because if your whole life, your idea of hydrating was actually picking up a soda can.
Right.
Okay.
That
Or
was
your
my
idea
aunt,
of
right.
right. Okay. If you're not used to
Or a
Paul was saying,
martini in her case, yeah, right.
Well, I'll do a dirty martini every once in a while, but you really need to know that hydration is critical for everything from your beauty, skin,
'Cause it flushes all this
system,
out, yeah.
flushes everything out. So again, we have an opportunity here. If you're a bit of a younger generation, or if you are an older generation, to be fair, that has been very conscious about your health, your well-being, enough to have incorporated some of these habits into your daily living, these grooming habits. When it gets to the point where you're older, it's already instinctive that you would behave in this manner.
Right.
Yes.
So I think knowledge base of this, even though you're younger and you say, well, what am I listening to all this stuff? It's all about old people. No. This stuff actually, if you encompass
Starts
it into
now.
your life today,
Starts now.
Yes.
is going to just make the transition so much easier. Your quality of life will last longer. You'll have more independent control and on what happens to you in terms of your quality of life. You are more attuned. Your physicality, like, all these people that basically do a lot of core-based exercises when they're younger, right? You get older, you don't have a strong core. You're weak. Your lower back hurts.
And you know where I saw
What
that?
if the-
My aunt couldn't bend over for many, many, many years. As she got bigger,
I'm so
as she got
sorry.
weaker, she couldn't physically bend down, so she wouldn't put her socks on ever because she couldn't. She wouldn't change her briefs because she couldn't.
Yes.
She wouldn't wipe very well because
So
couldn't.
you're not working out
Okay.
today because you need to be buff. You're working out today because you're getting yourself into a routine and a regimen that will serve you well later.
Amen.
Because you're not going away anytime soon.
If you open my
Amen.
book and look at
Which
the
page?
articles I brought you.
How come it's not
Page
color
100.
Here we go.
It's not color
I brought
coded,
you an
Paul.
article on something really. It
How
sounds
much stuff
really
have you got in
funny.
that bag there? You keep
it's
pulling
great.
stuff out.
This is little to lose and a lot to gain. Why everyone should weight gain. It's called scaropenia,
What?
and it is a truth that at age 70. Every human has scaropenia, and that is a wasting of muscles due to age. And the only way that you can have
Yeah.
more muscles after
Yeah.
70 is if you build them before you get
But
there.
you got to put money in the bank, people, before you draw on it.
Every day of your life is the
Yep.
day to start this. And I brought 3 things to show and tell really quick.
Let's
is
do
that
it.
good?
Yes.
Okay. The first one is an amazing thing called a brain path. Okay, Rod, you work on this one.
right.
Paul, you work on that one.
All right.
This is neuroplasticity research out of UCLA over 20 years that basically the tips of our fingers
Yeah.
have 3,000 neurosensors in each one.
Okay.
And it goes straight to your brain when you push hard on either, I call them innies
Yeah.
or outies of this plastic. I know.
Which one do you have, an innie or an outie?
You know, you have both.
I
right in front
have
of
an
you.
Audi in my hand.
Okay.
What about
30
you, Paul? You got
minutes
an
a
innie or
day.
an Audi?
30 minutes a day.
Just
Everybody
rubbing
just
over these
go
dots?
to, yes, brainpaths.com. Brainpaths with an S.com.
Yeah.
You know,
what
Mick
about the
Jagger
swirl?
did a lot to his brain with drugs.
Yeah.
But you notice because he played a guitar every day and he was pushing on
There was
things.
a tactile feed.
He
Yep.
was still on stage. I mean, he looked like he had formaldehyde in
Yeah.
him.
Keith Richardson. You're talking about Keith
Yeah, well,
Richardson.
you know, I'm thinking both. But quite frankly, thank God James Taylor is still going. Thanks God. our
Isn't this similar
guitar-
to fidget spinners?
It's similar, but the thing with this is all scientifically based with the plasticity, the neuroplasticity.
What about the swirls on the back? Do they do anything?
You just go around and around with your fingertips.
Show them the swirls. There's
And at
swirls on
first-
the
I don't have
Okay.
swirls. I have a maze.
You have the
Yeah, it's like
you
a
have
maze.
the road up to Big Bear right here that
Yeah,
you
actually,
just follow.
if you take the 38, it's like here.
That's
If you
right.
Actually, sorry, that's 18.
So you're
I
saying that
think
just
38
rubbing
is
your
more like
hand repeatedly will
Yeah.
stimulate your nerve endings and
That's-
will create a brain.
Okay, so
30 minutes a
improvement.
day while you're watching
So
TV.
let me share something about this.
Okay.
That
I'm gonna keep this.
I absolutely.
No, you're gonna keep this one.
You're
I
gonna
brought
keep this
you.
one.
I brought you
brought me a
that.
little
But
Okay.
I'll tell you, I used to rock climb, and
Yes.
and when you rock climb, you usually are reaching and you're above where you can see, so you don't have
Yeah.
the benefit of visual sight as input.
Yes.
Okay, you actually have fingertips
Yes.
as feedback, and the more that you rock climb,
That's true.
the more attuned you become to reading the things around you
Yes.
through your fingertips. So this is. We're joking, we're laughing, but it's very true. And I've been running my fingers on this thing here, I feel a lot better.
Do you know what happens
I'm more attuned.
if you read all the research and it's at brainpaths.com,
Yep.
and I am presenting you with your very own keychain one
How
with a
cool is
little
that?
booklet right there that
So-
goes with it.
so you take your brain
the
path with
innies
you.
and the outies, and you sit in traffic, and instead of getting mad, you just rub. And what this does is it was developed for the woman who developed this owns 9 Montessori schools outside of Las Vegas, and she had a ton of ADHD kids. She looked at neuroplasticity research to help them think in a more organized manner, and guess what they have found? It
How'd they
helps slow down dementia. And this is why
So
I'm
because
in it as the gerontologist.
because it's engaging you.
Alzheimer's.
No, it's firing your neurons in places in your brain that will go, it will turn the white matter you don't want back into gray matter. You want your brain to be firing. And many, many times, if we always take the same route home, if we always look at the same stuff, if we
stops,
never change,
yeah.
we don't learn anything new. We don't, and the brain is so curious until the day we stop breathing. We are curious human
So
beings.
that's a
You
very
gotta
good
keep going.
point. Yeah.
This was
Okay.
the Alzheimer's
So
Foundation
so
best
put down your
product.
cell phones when you're in the car,
Yeah.
and pick up a brain chip,
That's
and,
it.
And play with this, because the cops will not arrest you for this, but if you got a cell phone in your
That's
hand,
right.
they will.
And at brainpaths.com, if you mention my name, you'll get a discount.
There you go.
Okay, now here is one of my second favorite things, and that is these wonderful coloring books.
What?
Yes, what? Okay, so here's a coloring book. Last time I was on vacation with friends in Colorado Springs.
These are big now.
We
They're
threw
huge,
this
yeah.
down on the island in their kitchen. And here was the thing, and we spread these out. Every time one of us passed the island in their kitchen, we had to, it was our rule, that we would color in one place, and we would keep changing the colors up on each other. And literally, our friendship, this is 4 days, actually 5 days of my life with some of my best friends on the face of this earth. And I smile every time I look at this because we did it together. And everybody has their challenges, everyone. You don't have to be old to have challenges.
No.
You know what they are from the moment you were born.
Can I give you another funny story? A friend of mine's mother started buying coloring. She was like in her 80s. She started buying coloring books. They thought she'd lost her mind. And she's coloring, princess stuff.
By the way,
So smart.
they're PG-13 versions, and there's other versions.
Oh, yeah.
So look at your local.
And so we went online, and we found out that adult coloring books,
Yes.
particularly for women, are a rage. Huge again.
My neighbor across the street, for fun, I love pineapples, right? She found a coloring with a pineapple, but it had a pumpkin face in the middle of it for Halloween.
Yeah.
And she gave it to me this weekend. She did the whole thing. It was,
Rad and I are going to color after this.
You
is
know,
over.
you better because
I
it
found a
calms
martini
you
glass
down.
with olives in it.
I like that one.
So I
there it is. Show it.
yeah.
Show it.
Yeah, martini glass with
And
olives
wine,
in it.
girls,
And then
wine,
over here.
champagne, iced tea, all of it.
But let's talk about this for a second. Okay, again,
Sure.
it's brain stimulation.
Right.
and it's large and small motor muscles.
And you're looking at this, which Di is saying, is a result of
friendship.
a friendship, but a result of 5 days of being together. Which, by the way, you guys are very, very structured and sort
Yes,
of
all
organized
inside the
and-
lines. Yeah.
And that would not my coloring would not look like
Well, I
this
was
at
a
all.
third
right?
grade teacher and a college professor and a gerontologist.
Yeah, and why nobody colored this white space? That'd be where I would be, as the outside the lines, right? But to that point, just talking about it from my professional perspective, with
Yes.
color, one of the hardest things to engage in is color and symmetry and balance in color, whatever that may be, because it's a true expression of your creative
Yes.
side. And when you have five
Yes.
people, what struck me about your story is you have 5 people that are all coloring the same piece of paper. Not each one has a separate piece. And for that harmony to happen is quite an interesting exercise.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because and you can tell a lot about a person in what they choose to associate with each other color-wise.
Yes.
So this is a very interesting thing. Like I said, I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, you guys are total harmony with one another.
You know,
and no
we have been
black
dear
in there.
friends
no,
for
no
40
harsh
years.
colors in there. No black and no evil colors. Right?
Yeah, that would be you.
We are dear friends for 40 years.
You can tell. Look at
Both
the
their-
harmony in this.
Both of
All
their
happy,
folks
light
live
colors.
here. They live in Colorado Springs.
Why do you say that with
and
disdain?
so
They're all happy colors. What's wrong with you, sad
here,
man?
Paul, you
Here,
need some
yeah,
happy
give
I
him
need some angry
something.
colors.
Give him something to color.
Give us something to
I
color.
need some angry colors.
Yeah, these friends basically, whenever their moms who are both out here
Yep.
and are getting a lot older,
Yep.
they fly to me
Yep.
and stay at my house,
we
and then
color.
we pack away, and they have big lives, and it's just a wonderful thing to just get time here and there. But
You're telling me grown women sit around and color?
no,
Come
we
on.
put that on the kitchen island, and when you flash by to go get another cup of tea or coffee or piece of pizza, you pick up a pen and
But
color.
I don't know why you're saying that as being a very strange thing. How many times have you heard about people getting together for wine and painting?
That's it. I did that 2 months ago
Exactly.
at Oakmont in Orange.
Right.
It was so cool. Okay, and everybody, how much longer, Paul, have
Give
we
me
got
some
in this
crayons.
show?
We got about 5 or 10 minutes.
5 or
10
10
minutes,
minutes.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do 2 things.
Okay.
I have one more show and tell
Okay.
for my aging product showcase. But
Okay.
before I do that, I'm going to send people to my website.
Please.
Do that.
And
Yeah.
that is D-I, Patterson, Patterson.com.
Do you find it ironic that you're dealing with death and dying and your first name is Di?
Oh, that's just it. I am the antithesis. I always say my nickname given to me as a child, I am the antithesis
of dying.
of death and dying.
Yep.
But death and dying.
If you don't believe her, go check out her website.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have 15 1.5 minute videos of what is Alzheimer's? What is sundowning? All those things. Plus, I have a
Sundowning, that was
ton
another
of
one, great articles. Here's my. We should do a show on sundowning. That was all. My dad
yeah.
had sundowning.
Top 10 tips
Sun would
for
go down.
success
Oh my
in
God, he
aging.
would go crazy. Yeah.
Oh, do I have a story from the law office? Yes, someone killed. Yeah, never mind.
Never
I'll
mind.
tell that on
Never
another
mind.
show.
Never mind.
So my top 10 tips for success in aging, and it's all based on research.
Yep.
How about this one? Boomer gals, it's time now to combat ageism.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. We need to have mercy on the elderly we see. We need to pay attention to the wonderful women who are widows around you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can do a whole show on widowhood. Pay attention. Make a
this
plan.
This is not the people around you every single day that you
That's
see
right.
are going through these challenges.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we have to make the plan and stick to the
I
plan
agree, yeah.
and renew old friendships and take care of your relationships. Here's one. I love this, the card campaign. You know, if wonderful Paul here did not live close to wonderful Auntie,
Right.
what he could have done was started a card campaign. And that is, you buy a bunch of cards ahead of time and you stamp them and put the addresses on them to the people you love. And then you write something dear about what you love about them. And you do this ahead of time. And then say it's a Wednesday, like today, you mail it every Wednesday. Or if they really need encouragement, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every Saturday. It's like, if you call your family on Sunday, then send them a card on Wednesday because it will cheer them and bolster them.
Well, again, it's that connection.
And I'm telling you,
The rare time my aunt got a card from somebody, one of our cousins back, the rare time that, because none of us send
Yes.
cards. I don't send cards. I don't send birthday cards, Christmas cards, any cards anymore.
tut tut.
The rare chance that she would get it, she would talk to me for a
yes.
month, a week,
Oh, yes.
about the card she got.
And
showed
Nothing
it
is
100
more
it's
times.
tactile.
Yep.
You can feel
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
And I know a good Hallmark card is about $5. You can get a good one for 1 or 2 or 4. But
Or you
here's
can
the
color
thing.
your own, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I bought postcards to color and they're great. But here's the thing. You will do more good on the face of this earth sending something someone can hold saying, I love you.
Yeah, wow.
Or you rocked my world when I was young. Now I'm calling you on Sunday and I'm going to go to Amazon and deliver your favorite flavor of shakes,
Yep.
protein
Yep,
shakes
yep.
or whatever. But I want people to go to the website, diepatterson.com, because you'll get a lot of encouragement there. And if you don't know how to start a conversation about an aging problem,
About urinary tract infections.
send
or,
them a link to my website.
Yeah.
Okay, last aging product showcase. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like the coolest thing. So,
Cooler than adult coloring books?
Oh, this is good. Hold on a second.
okay, this is a life straw, everyone. And you can go to lifestraw.com. This was the 2012 invention of the world. This is a global thing. I'm going to pass this around to you. This is what the life straw looks like. And if you could hold it up for all of your loving ones out there, you basically can stick this straw into mud and draw up fresh water.
I don't know if you guys can see this.
Okay,
Filter.
so again, buylifestraw.com. They're $19.99. I just bought a bunch on Amazon. I put them in all of my family members' Christmas stockings.
And what do they do
a few
with
years
it?
back.
What do they do with it?
Literally, I would keep this. This is one of my most favorite things for earthquake preparedness because now you have to realize
water.
this year we are exactly 20 years overdue for the Fort Tejon earthquake, which is an 8.5 or above. And when LA is collapsing towards Orange County, and the only water you
Yeah.
have left in your house is either in the back of your toilet or your hot water heater, and there are 7 other people who want to drink that with you.
Yeah.
And if you have to find a water source, I keep bottles of water, but say it didn't smell good or taste funny, you just stick this in. Okay.
So, Paul, you need to send this to everybody you know in Flint.
You stick this side in the water.
I know people in Flint. yeah.
Okay. And then you suck up through this side. And everyone go to the website for Life Straw, okay, and read about it. But it healed a whole nation in Africa, their wells. And I do believe that if water is infected with HIV, it will in this side, it will come out this side as the common cold, which is still 10 days of a virus.
Yep.
I mean, common is not common to a lot of people.
Well,
but this could save your life and the life of your loved ones. I keep one in my glove compartment of my car, and I keep 2 at home for Jim and me.
So here's your choices. Either you are going to have to drink through a life straw, or make sure you hydrate. Okay, but one way or the other, you're going to get your liquids, right? And
Yes.
and this is actually pretty cool. Like sending those cards that we're talking about when you say you care about somebody. Sometimes it's stuff like this too. That says that you're
That's
thinking of them.
right.
This is something for them. You care
$20,
about them. Right?
$20, and have it mailed straight to their house.
And I don't wish to put you on the spot, but I will. So you have a favorite aunt, I think, Rad, that never got married to, or like
I do, but she's the one I worry about the least.
Okay.
She's the one who's active. She's involved. She's out there.
I'm just saying, roughly at what age is she, in her 60s, 70s?
No, my aunt.
Yeah.
Is in her 80s.
80s. Okay.
She's older than my father. She's like over. I don't know what Aunt Naipa's age is, but I would venture a guess 85. Maybe?
Okay, so I'm just telling you, I would think you probably would never think to send her a card because she's active. She's fun. I'm telling you, if she got a card, not an email,
That's right.
but a physical card,
Physical card.
She would flip out.
This from the man who just admitted on open air that he doesn't send cards.
I don't send cards.
But
no.
you are a great example of do as I say and not
Absolutely.
what I do, right?
Because I'm telling you, I saw that when my aunt got them, and she flipped out every time
Yes.
she got one.
And that made you write her some, right?
No.
Okay,
heck
so
no.
entrepreneurs, remember how there used to be muffin carts that go to offices? You should buy a bunch of cards and come to the studio and sell these men cards. And,
Please,
have a
yes.
few postage stamps
So,
with you, and they'll buy those too.
I actually am better than him with cards, okay? And I agree with the fact of getting cards in advance because
Yes.
we also live in a society where there's not a lot of time.
That's
so when
right.
you find yourself, having a little time, you see something that resonates with you, that somehow gets a message, put it aside. You'll find a reason for using
That's
it later.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I do want to share some of these with you. Okay, before I do, we've spent a lot of time here talking about stuff. We've had show and tell.
Yes.
We've even gone on, curing villages with water. We're all over the place. The point is this, okay?
Yes.
Aging is not easy,
No.
and it's tough. And it's tough on the person who's aging and people around them, that whether they are caring for them or they're watching them age, okay? It really does take a village. It really is okay to reach out for help, okay? DIE is one of those resources that you should go out and connect with because, again, not everybody's going to be reached the same way.
That's
Some
right.
people are going to resonate through writing. Some people are going to resonate with a personal, advice. Some people are going to resonate through a support group.
That's right.
Everybody is different. And as we get older, we get less diluted in how we are. So we become more that difference sometimes. So don't try to apply a uniform way to address this. This is one resource that I would suggest that you guys look into. And whatever it takes, whether it's this or something goofy with a little fuzzy head on it or whatever it takes to get that person to connect, that person to have an understanding that you are there for them, for you as a caregiver to take the time to recharge your batteries so you can
Yes.
be there for people. Because, again, you need the support as well. Okay, whatever it takes,
big time.
do it.
It taxes you. It wears you.
And that
Yes,
is
it
why,
does.
again, kind of coming full circle, that is why things like the Senior Care Heroes Award that happen every year now for the last 8 years are super critically important because there are people that are out there doing this every day for
That's
people and
right.
their families, and they are not recognized, and we walk right by them. And one day, every single one of us, in one form or the other,
You're
is
right.
going to find themselves
You're so right.
in this
Yes.
situation.
That's exactly
To
right.
varying degrees, may have some assistance, maybe not. It may be you, maybe somebody close to you. You are going to find yourself. Nobody's getting out alive. This is one of those guaranteed things that is going to happen. Now, with that being said, I'm going to read these highlights, okay? That are 10 tips for success in aging. So it's your call. You want to succeed in aging, or you want to fail at it? It's your call, right? So here they are.
I'll get it right in the next life. Go ahead.
And whatever you do not reach out to Paul Roberts for advice.
I won't help
Okay?
you.
Because for 3 years, I've basically been trying, and he doesn't do anything.
No.
All right. He's just a poster child baby boomer in that way, in that aspect as well. He's a Peter Pan denier. You're a denierist.
I'm a denierist.
Okay.
Ain't gonna happen to me, baby.
Love and love yourself enough to take care of yourself. That's number 1, not number 10 on the list.
Yep.
Love and love yourself enough to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Aging well begins and ends with love of yourself as well as others around you. If you don't have it, you don't got that in the bank, those credits in the bank, those love credits in the bank, you don't have it to give. Number 2, get good information about everything.
Everything.
And, tune into the Raad Life, because I guarantee you'll find some stuff you might want to hear about or not hear about, but you know what? We are better off for having that conversation, as difficult as it may be.
Yes.
Okay? Number 3, laugh. We did a good amount of it here today, right?
Yes, we did.
Because stress oxidizes cholesterol negatively, but laughter releases chemicals that drive away the pain and fear. You don't believe me? Why do you turn on to a comedy when you're basically feeling down?
That's right.
Okay, there you go. 4, exercise and keep your feet in motion. This is super critical. This is super critical.
Super critical.
Your infrastructure is only as strong as it is, and you got to strengthen it. And if you don't, again, just like with the love in the bank, you don't have enough physical credits to draw on when you need them.
If you can't get to the bathroom or to the kitchen when you're older, you have to go to assisted living.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was my aunt's case.
And if you don't want to end up there, put the time and energy in this. You don't want to shuffle around and feel achy. Every person who tells me, "Oh, I don't exercise. I exercised when I was younger. I'm not exercising anymore. This is nobody exercises my age." I will show you another person who's 70, 80, or 90 years old that just basically ran a friggin' marathon. So there is no excuse anymore for you to justify this under the auspice of aging.
The hospice.
Under the hospice of aging. Because if you do it under the auspice of aging, you're going to end up in a hospice sooner than
For
you
aging.
For aging. Okay? So exercise and keep your feet in motion.
Yes.
Feed yourself well.
Well.
Okay, nutritional. That's again a habit that the sooner you get into, the better off you are, because it is no longer now a stressful thing to adjust.
We can't eat the same calories that we did when we were younger, and so your calories have to mean more to your body.
And I'm gonna add one more layer to this. Eat well, feed yourself well, but also get excited about the fact that maybe you vary your menu. I mean, if you think about, if you think about before everything was available all the time, 12 months out of the year, there were seasons.
Yes.
There was produce and products that were available at certain times of the year, other products available at other times of the year.
Yes.
Right now, if I wanted to, I could have turkey and gravy and friggin', carve a pumpkin pretty much in July. It doesn't matter. So there's a natural order to things. Vary your menu.
Yep.
Get excited about it.
And
it doesn't have to be elaborate meals.
And
can
if you
make
can't
simple
vary your
meals.
menu, drink heavily.
Think
And
savory.
for that you can couple. But I'm not calling
All right,
Uber
no.
for either one of you.
Okay.
Number 6. Be kind to yourself and get your rest. I cannot emphasize this more.
Yes, everyone.
Okay. There's a lady, Belgian Exoy, that is out of Turkey. She's a friend of mine. She put together a nonprofit a couple of years ago called Global Wellness Day, and they have 10 pillars.
Yes.
One of them was, surprise, don't go to bed after 10 o'clock or 10:30. You need your rest. That is a way
Before
for your
midnight.
body
Yes.
for your body to do it. Don't eat past a certain point. Not because you're a gremlin and you're going to turn into something or splash with water, but there are certain basic elements. The sooner I'll be the first to admit they're hard to get into and get to be regular about, but the sooner you do it and have a personal reference point to the benefit, the sooner you will actually make it part of your regimen. You may not be 100% on track with it all the time, but you'll know
Yes.
to go back to it when you need to.
I've broken down and bought a sleep mask, and I mean one that has extra puffiness around the nose so all the light stays out.
Yeah.
Because I write here about melatonin. Well,
Yeah.
we lose it over the years. That's why it's a #1 seller at Costco. So many older people have trouble falling asleep, and you can do it with melatonin.
And I'm guilty of this, right? As much as anybody else. Do not keep this next to your
Oh,
bed.
no.
Okay, the
No.
blue light in this is basically the enemy of exactly that.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
the vibrating thing. I'm as guilty as anybody else. I've been trying a little bit better lately to keep it away and downstairs so I don't have access to it.
Cool.
Okay, anybody who needs to reach you in the middle of the night, that's probably not a person you want to be in touch with anyway. Okay, so be kind to yourself and get your rest. Floss your teeth. Again, hygiene, basic hygiene. You don't got teeth, what are you going to eat? Puree for the rest of your life? I mean, let's get with this thing. Okay, fight depression. And
That's a big one.
This is critical.
Number one.
Whatever it takes. If it's the coloring book,
up.
if it's the sucking through a straw, mud water, whatever it takes, right?
That makes me happy.
This will also fight the depression, because your brain wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fight depression. And
Go for a walk.
And be aware. Be aware of the symptoms. Like when you start feeling down, it's okay to feel down. It's not okay to stay feeling down.
Right. That's the key. That's the difference.
And be careful of your use of sugar and alcohol to get rid of depression. Really and truly, if you are going to use either one of those substances, please call a friend and go with them, because they'll help cheer you up. And you'll watch a comedy or you'll do something. But be careful if you're alone.
I kiddingly
with
say drink heavily, but drink heavily does not make you happy.
Well, and it's actually a depressant. Yeah. And this goes back to the
hydrate.
Going back to feed yourself well. Hydrate.
Yes.
Well. I'll tell you what I do. I take 2 of the glass bottle, Voss bottles, because I don't want plastic bottles in my car.
Yep.
I fill them with water. I know exactly how much water. You can do one of those either. I know exactly how much water I drank that day, because I go through the 2 bottles. I know what the volume that I basically drank. It's exactly like that. And then here's the thing: if you do it in metal or a glass,
if it
gets warm in the car, you open it up, you direct your air conditioning on it, and it will cool again. So that's a very easy one. So nutrition,
yes,
hydration,
yes,
floss, fight depression,
and flossing. Let me tell you something about this. When I originally wrote these in 2005, there was a great belief that dental plaque and arterial plaque, our hearts, were linked, and they found that wasn't true. And then in 2007, they thought that dental plaque and brain plaque of Alzheimer's were linked, and they found it wasn't. But I will tell you why to floss your teeth. Besides that, your brain sits in the same cavity as your dental. It's all in your sinus cavity. But the other thing is this: it's about self-care. If you take the 1 minute twice a day to pay attention to what's in your teeth so you don't get gum disease, and that you just feel better and you have a better smile and you don't have, halitosis. The truth is...
Halitosis?
Yeah. The truth is that you're going to look at your skin to make sure that no mole is turning black. You're going to look at things about you that you could catch early a problem.
No,
okay.
I don't. Okay, my teeth are very tight, so I will be the first to admit that I am not good at flossing my teeth. However, if
water pick, baby.
Water
pick now.
And that's exactly what I do.
After 50, it's about the water pick.
It's all water pick, right?
Yep.
And so whatever it takes, definitely hygiene and self-care is a big thing. Take that extra 5 minutes in the morning before the craziness of the world.
Give water picks for
Christmas. Give us the last ones. We're way over here.
Okay. Fight depression. Declutter your space, and that's not just your physical space, by the way.
Don't declutter. That's bad.
De-mess to de-stress.
Declutter what's in here, too.
That's right.
Okay, it's not just your physical space, also your mental space. It's not in here, but okay.
Good.
And then whatever gives you faith, spirituality, a sense of a higher power, engage with that. Whether it's through yoga, whether it's through church, whether it's through meditation, whatever it takes, give that to yourself as an anchoring, because that is a safe place that you can go.
Major studies in America from 2004 on showed that there's less heart disease, less heart attack, less stroke, and less internal inflammation for people who practice their faith, gather in groups, do spiritual readings,
socialization,
practice their faith, and it goes back to number one. Love yourself enough to take care of yourself.
And with that being said, and if you want to get a sneak peek at this again, you should contact...
Please, di@dipatterson.com.
That's the website.
That's di@dipatterson. My favorite email, di@dipatterson.com.
And if you're interested in knowing more about the Senior Care Hero Awards, and the 9th, it will be again next year. Please check out Senior Serve's website, and this is really great. A lot of these people have been already mentioned. We will share some of them over the years. Some of them might be actually guests. We've already reached out to some of them, and I do want to give a shout out again to Mayor Tom Tate, who is finishing his term as mayor, I think this year, and I really am grateful for what he has done in Anaheim and the City of Kindness. I mean, it sounds like a really kind of a cliche almost to come up with something like that, but
Yes.
to walk the talk, to live that, to do so against a lot of other interests, but
That's
staying
exactly
true
right.
to his core with that.
Yes.
He definitely deserved to receive the humanitarian award, and I was really thrilled to be there. I am really thrilled you were here today.
Thank you so much.
And come back anytime.
I will.
And Susan, she needs a third one. So I'll see you guys.
You have been listening to the Rad Life Radio Show with your host and age explorer, Rod Gantos, brought to you on the one and only octalkradio.net. Join us again next week as we continue our journey of discovery into life's challenges, opportunities, options, and all the latest and greatest things that come with getting older.
When you use the Premier Rewards Gold Card from American Express, the rewards points can keep on multiplying. Buy 3 with triple points on airfare. Buy 2 with double points on gas and groceries. And a single point for pretty much every other dollar you spend on the card. Then, start choosing from over 1 million rewards to redeem all those points. Apply today and the annual fee for the first year is on us. Call 1-800-AXP-GOLD or visit axpgold.com. The annual fee for the card is $175. See terms, conditions, and restrictions at axpgold.com.